Well, folks, Republicans are desperate, so desperate they're rolling out old evil tomater. That's right. Take a look. Take a look at this video.
Well, I think the Democrats were desperate to have Trump behave in some kind of angry, hostile manner, and to have him call out his supporters to recreate a sense of, civil unrest or riot or whatever. In that sense, I thought that Trump was amazingly disciplined, came across exactly right, indicated clearly that he was subordinate to the law, and that while he thought this whole indictment was an absurdity, he nonetheless was not in any way going to encourage people to go outside the law. Then I thought his speech last night was extraordinarily well written and well delivered, and again, it was a tone of reasonableness, a tone of talking about the accurate history of the last couple of years and just how bad the left has been.
Come with me and we'll be in the land of pure imagination. Forgive me if you never saw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, that's Newt Gingrich. If you don't know who Newt Gingrich is, yeah, that guy is one of the fathers of the crap politics that we have today. He's one of the fathers of the politics of personal destruction. Give you some idea of just how lousy this guy is. He divorced his wife while she had cancer. Yeah. So far as she was in the hospital having surgery, had surgery to remove a tumor, and old Newt Gingrich showed up there and had a fight with her in the hospital while she's trying to recover from surgery. I mean, this guy's a real frickin' prince, man. I mean, I call him evil tomater for a reason. And FYI, we have Marjorie Trader Greene now, the elevator flatulator. This is who preceded her. Yeah, I mean, same area, Georgia, same, yeah. There's something wrong in that water area. But anyways, moving on to what he's talking about. Trump, calm and reasonable. No. Trump is not calm and reasonable. Coming up to these charges, Trump talked about death and destruction if he was charged. Trump urged his followers to protest, and we know exactly how right-wingers protest. We've seen it before. They're the guys like the Boogaloo Boys that shoot into police stations. They're the guys that had the insurrection on January 6th and attacked police officers and crap in our Capitol, that kind of thing. We know exactly what he means by protest. It's not like the kids in Tennessee that are chanting and trying to remind legislators that they exist and there's really a problem and they're really being killed, so please pay attention to us. No, that's not what they mean by protest. So anyways, Trump gets indicted, and the judge respectfully, calmly, I would even say kindly, instructed Trump that he cannot be inciting violence. He just can't do it. Don't do it. We'll have to put a gag order on you if we do. I mean, he handled Trump with kid gloves. Did Trump heed his advice? No. Trump runs home to Mar-a-Lago, and I just wrote a few of the points down, immediately called D.A. Alvin Bragg a George Soros-backed prosecutor. And I want to address that one for a minute. What's wrong with being backed by George Soros? I mean, is there anything wrong with being funded by George Soros? Well, to your average person, no, there isn't. I mean, he's just another guy that donates to politics. He donates to social causes. So, it's not exactly like his donations should be tainted, unless, of course, you're a white supremacist and you have a theory about Jewish people in a cabal to run the world, and George Soros is the character in your narrative. Oh, so he's a Jewish-backed prosecutor. And we all know the correlation between Republicans and white supremacy and how much of their base is based on just straight up racist people. So that's where that Soros-backed thing comes in. He's saying he's a Jewish-backed, cabal, Jewish cabal-backed prosecutor. Yeah, I don't think that's following the judge's orders there, attacking the prosecutor there. He attacks his wife. Claims Alvin Bragg, the DA that's prosecuting him, campaigned on taking him down, which is bullshit. It's just dismiss out of hand. It's utter bullshit. Claimed experts say there is no crime and the prosecution is purely bogus. Now, every person is presumed innocent until convicted, and he has every right to protest his innocence. But you can't, there's a line there. There is a line there. There are no experts out there saying, no real experts saying that this is not a crime. This is absolutely a crime. And they absolutely have the documentation to prove it. One person's already gone to jail over this. If you don't remember, Michael Cohen went to jail for this already. He called Fani Willis down in Georgia. The district attorney down in Georgia called her a racist. Yeah, that's not inciting. Saying that she's attacking Trump because she's racist. No, she's pursuing a criminal investigation of a crime. I mean, that's what DAs do. And Trump sits there while calling Fani Willis a racist, sits there and defends, keeps calling, oh, my phone call was perfect, and says that suborning election fraud, which is what that phone call was about, find me some votes. He's defending that. He says that's okay. That's not a crime. You can do that. You can call your party people and say, hey, break the law, find me some votes. It's insanity. It's insanity. And this is all in the speech, just following, folks. Literally, he gets indicted, flies home, gives a speech down at Mar-a-Lago. And this is the stuff he's talking about right after the judge gingerly warns him, don't do this. He immediately runs home and does this. He said the prosecution was to interfere with the election. Calls the prosecution bogus. I mean, he just says it's a bogus prosecution because it's meant to interfere with the election. That's why he declared his candidacy so early. He thought that was actually going to be a defense. I mean, he has the worst lawyers. I mean, I don't think there's any lawyer out there that could actually give him advice that runs counter to what he wants to believe. But still, his lawyers are terrible. I mean, just trying to announce your candidacy thinking that that's going to be some sort of shield to prevent you from prosecution. That's insane. Then he goes on to attack the judge himself. Then he turns around and attacks the judge's wife, saying they're both just Trump hating. They both just hate him. That's why they're doing this. Oh, no, that's not incitement. That's not incitement. This guy knows he has a following. He's talking to his followers. He's down at Mar-a-Lago, and he's claiming this is all because the judge hates him. That's not protesting your innocence, folks. That is making a false claim of persecution. That is incitement. And then worse, he goes on, and this really pisses me off, goes on and attacks the judge's daughter and his two reject sons, Dumb and Dumber, post pictures of the judge's daughter because she worked for the Biden-Harris campaign. And I want to take, I have particular umbrage with this. This is a testimony to what Republicans are. If I was on the jury that was overseeing this case, if I was on the jury and the prosecution, if Alvin Bragg did not make his case, I would vote to acquit because of who I am. We are not them. That's why I hate both sidism so much. We are not Republicans. Republicans think this way. You know, you had Brett Kavanaugh that was Ken Starr's sidekick that became a Supreme Court justice. This guy thinks this way. That it's okay to be partisan and sell out everything that our country is meant to be. You know, this idea of America only exists in the Democratic Party. We're the only people that would sit there with, if Donald Trump was right there and he had shot somebody on Fifth Avenue and the case was presented to us as jurors and they did not prove his guilt, we would not find him guilty because of the law. But they're not that way, folks. They're not that way. I mean, you just listen to what they say. If you are a Democrat, you know, immediate, you know, you cannot be a fair juror. You cannot, nothing you can do, everything you do is tainted because you're a Democrat. Bullshit. We are not the same. That is their confession. That is their confession. Every accusation they make is a confession. Keep that in mind, folks. Take a look at what's going on in Tennessee right now. They're trying to kick three folks out of the legislature, 3 Democrats that have committed no crime. They have committed no crimes. They kept people in the legislature that did commit crimes. But they're going to try to kick 3 because that's how they think, folks. That's how they think. That is the difference. That's why I never, ever accept both sidism. Ever. And Tomater goes on here. Watch this second clip.
None of those things fit what the Democrats wish they were focused on. And I think, frankly, the more calm and the more reasonable the Trump is, the harder the Democrats' problem is. That's why I thought yesterday was a very significant moment. He didn't rant and rave. He didn't try to arouse his supporters. He very calmly went into court. He very calmly gave a talk that was disciplined and orderly. If he strips away the weaknesses they want to attack, the Democrats have nothing left to campaign on.
Yeah. First of all, anytime a Republican says Democrats think or throw it out of hand. We Democrats have a lot to run on. A lot to run on, both positive and negative. You know, but let's focus on the positive for a minute. Let's focus on old Joe. Joe Biden, CHIP Act, infrastructure spending, you know, got inflation under control. When they had inflation under Reagan, I mean, they had a similar situation. You had the OPEC oil embargo that shut down our economy, and then you had COVID, which shut down our economy. Same sprint out of these situations. It always causes hyperinflation when you have a historic event like this. Republicans, interest rates ran up to 20%, 19-20%. Biden has done this and kept interest rates 4, 5, 6%. Hell yes, we've got a lot to run on. Job creation is amazing. We have so much to run on. I mean, we're going to have to be very careful that we don't just end up looking like we're just blowing our horns all the time. And then Republicans always give us plenty of fodder to throw at them. You know, if Trump ends up being the 2024 nominee, there's going to be plenty of negative. Plenty. DeSantis, Tiny D, plenty to attack him on. So, folks, I always say this. They live in the Truman Show. They think they can just have a disaster happen, walk up to a microphone, pretend it didn't happen, and all the actors keep moving. But no, folks, this is reality. This is reality. We saw the speech. We know what he is. And it doesn't matter how many times you drag old evil Tow Mater out. It's not going to change reality. And that's what they cannot handle. They live in fiction. They make allegations. Listen to all the stuff they always said about Hillary Clinton, this, that, and the other. Never proved up any of it because it was never in reality. It was all fiction. And then reality meets them, and then Trump ends up indicted, which he will end up indicted multiple times. And they can't handle it. It's a complete meltdown. That's my new analogy. The Republicans live in the Truman Show. I love you, folks. Zoe Texas Paul out. Have a great day. Hit that subscribe button. It's good to see you again.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.MeidasTouch.com.